What Gunnar Henderson is doing for the Baltimore Orioles is otherworldly right now, and he's vaulted himself into the conversation of maybe being the best all-around player in Major League Baseball. I know Shohei Ohtani exists, I know Aaron Judge exists, but Gunnar has been on an absolute tear, so I'll break down his dominance and much more in this episode of 3 Up, 3 Down. What's up, everybody? Welcome into 3 Up, 3 Down. I'm your host, Peter Vryonis, but before we get into it, I want to let you know that this podcast is powered by Baseball Town. Without them, it would not be possible. It's your one-stop shop for everything that you need to get geared up for the baseball season. Visit the website, baseballtown.ca, or the 3 locations in Ottawa, Laval, and St. Hubert in Quebec. But Gunnar Henderson, let's get into the video here. Before we do that, make sure to hit the subscribe button. Leave your comments down below on his performance this season and what you've thought of the Baltimore Orioles superstar. He has been so much fun to watch, and as a fan of the AL East, as a fan of the Toronto Blue Jays, I get to watch him pretty much on a nightly basis. And he's not mincing any words. He's not making any mistakes out there. He's been one of the best all-around players in the game this season. And if it wasn't for Aaron Judge's historic month of May and June, then maybe we'd be talking about Gunnar Henderson winning his first MVP award. I believe he'll get there. I believe he'll have a couple under his belt. But let's just take a look at his stats here. And this was a tweet from Jeff Passan. Gunnar Henderson is 22. Amazing at-bat versus Zach Wheeler. Ends in a home run. Henderson's season so far. F-WAR, second in the MLB with a 4.6. Baseball Reference WAR, 4.9, also second in Major League Baseball. 22 home runs behind Aaron Judge. 55 runs, third. 49 RBIs, and he's hitting leadoff. Let that sink in. So he's 10th in RBIs, and he's hitting leadoff. Weighted on base percentage, 407, which is 5th. Weighted runs created plus, 170, also 5th. And outs above average, playing shortstop, offering tremendous offense and great defense to boot. He's one of the best all-around players in the game. Let's not kid ourselves here. And whether you're an Orioles fan or not, you have to be able to admit that he's so much fun to watch. And I can't believe this guy slipped into the second round. Let's take a look at his home run that he hit yesterday against the NL Cy Young front runner like Zach Wheeler. This is no joke right here. Let's take a look at that. This was the 9th pitch of the at-bat, by the way, and he just takes him to left center field, opposite, and man, one more look at that swing. Just beautiful. Lashes it out to the left center field wall, and Gunnar Henderson is a freak of nature. That's the only way I can describe him. He's a freak, and that's evident by his baseball savant, which we'll take a look at right now. Look at all that red over there. His batting run value in the 96th percentile, his base running 97th percentile, fielding value 89th percentile. Not too shabby, and you see a bunch of red across the board over there. And these are just his overall surface numbers for the season, which I read off to you a little bit before. 22 home runs, 174 OPS plus, a 957 OPS, and his batting average is creeping up as well. I wouldn't be shocked if he's at 300 by the season's end. He's been so good. Him and Witt Jr. have been the center of conversations here for young shortstops to build a team around. And there's no wrong answer. But let me know in the comments down below. Would you start your team around Witt Jr. or Gunnar Henderson if you had the choice today? If I had the choice, it might be an unpopular opinion, but I'm going to go with Witt Jr. because he is the best defensive shortstop in the game, and he just does amazing things. Steals bases. They're different players. They're very different players, I think. Gunnar Henderson has that power-speed combo with a great arm. Witt Jr. just does it all. So I would go with Witt Jr. It's a tough decision, though. There's no right answer. Either one of those guys, and you're set for the next decade if you're a Major League Baseball team. And in this case, the Royals and the Orioles are set up pretty nicely for the future with the young players that they have surrounding those guys. So And it'd be very interesting to follow the remainder of the career of Gunnar Henderson and Bobby Witt Jr. But this video is Henderson focused, and I want it to stay that way because he's so much fun to watch and just an otherworldly talent. There's no other way to put it. There's no other way to put it. And let's take one more look at his home run that he hit yesterday against one of the best pitchers in the sport, if not the best pitcher in the sport, Zack Wheeler. And that's just an amazing swing. You could see the ferocity in it. You could see the power that he possesses in that bat of his. And he's got the aura of a superstar player as well, which is evident when he's stepping onto that field. And the Orioles are a scary team. I know that they're second in the AL East right now because the Yankees have been fantastic, but they're breathing right down their necks. Even though the Yankees have probably the best record in the league, Orioles are not far behind them. So it's going to be a very fun race to follow throughout the rest of the season between those two teams. And Henderson versus Judge, I think that's a matchup we could all get used to seeing for the longest time. And I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Even though the Jays are kind of lost in the shuffle in the American League East, Henderson versus Judge, I can get used to that box office matchup on a nightly basis. And this young guy is just doing fantastic things. And I mentioned it earlier. I cannot believe that he fell to the second round in the draft. And I know that prospects aren't always a surefire thing. They're not guaranteed to have success in the big leagues, but Henderson is a five-tool player. He's a five-tool player, and he does it all in the field. He's got a fantastic arm. He hits for power. He hits for average. He's a menace on the base paths, and he just does everything out there. He's a fantastic fielder. There's not many players like him, and the only other player that I could compare him to is Bobby Witt Jr., and those two guys are headlining the shortstop conversations for years to come. And Bobby Witt Jr. already locked up, signed that 11-year deal with the Royals. Gunnar Henderson yet to sign an extension, but I believe that will happen pretty soon because he's established himself as one of the best players in baseball. But thank you guys so much for making it this far. Again, this podcast is powered by baseballtown.ca, so make sure to check out that website. Would not be possible to have daily content without their support and without them backing me up here. So shout out to Baseball Town, and shout out to you guys for killing it with the support lately. We will see you tomorrow in another video. But yeah, check out baseballtown.ca. Check out the 3 locations in Quebec and in Ontario as well, in Ottawa. But until then, until tomorrow, enjoy the baseball, folks.